Hi, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel. And today I want to talk about how this reality is the Matrix. The Matrix, the movie made in 1999. How this is very similar and how we can utilize that idea to create our reality. Before we begin, hit the like button. It will make those who would not normally be able to see this Also, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon if you want broken down examples, systematic techniques, and how to test for yourself manifestation and prove it in your life. So let's jump right into it then. So, the Matrix. What is the Matrix? You may have seen this, you may have not seen this movie. For me, it was a very inspiring movie. It actually changed my life when I saw it back in 1999, but not as it relates to manifesting. For me, it got me interested in programming, and from that point, 1999, all the way until now, that is what I did for a living. And even now, I implement programming into my business. But when I talk about the Matrix in this context, I'm actually referring to manifestation. So let's break down the idea and concept of the Matrix and then relate it to this reality. So in the Matrix, ultimately, there's a main character named Neo. Neo is, I guess you could say, uncomfortable living in his reality. He's searching for some truth, obsessively. Ultimately, he finds some dude named Morpheus who takes him and basically explains to him what the Matrix is and then takes him out of the Matrix. So the Matrix, as he explains, is a series of electrical impulses inserted into your brain to create a fictitious world. But it's not just a world with you in it alone. There is a plug or cord plugged into the back of your mind to everyone that lives, and each of these people are in this world together. So the impulses touch and hit each of these people's brain to project the exact same world to every single one of these people. Now, in the Matrix, it is exactly the same as reality. There's no way to tell that you're actually in the Matrix. It's only for a very few specific people who kind of catch on that something is wrong here, that get woken up, taken out of the Matrix, and then from that point forward, they are given a certain amount of power. Now, this power that they discover allows them to warp reality. It allows them to modify time and space. It allows them to create anything that they want to create. And the only thing that they need to do in order to do these things is believe. Now, in the movie, this is demonstrated as jumping across buildings or being able to create an arsenal of weapons and bring it in the Matrix with you, appearing out of thin air, or even dodging bullets. Things that are not generally, that don't happen in reality. But ultimately, the whole key is that the belief or knowing that you can do something is what makes you capable of doing it. It's once you awaken and realize that it is just a matrix, it's just a dream, you then have all the power to create anything that you want. So does this sound familiar to you? If you've been following my channel, if you've been putting this stuff to the test, then it should sound relatively familiar to you. Now, for those of you who don't know, and if you're just joining my channel, it is entirely on the process of manifestation. Manifestation is the act or the art and craft of being able to manifest your thoughts into this reality. But before we jump directly into that, I want to take this one step further and talk about the concept of a dream. So, what is a dream? A dream, in its purest form, when we fall asleep and when we're in this dream, we become aware of being in a reality. We're in a world. Now, within the dream, we don't know the difference between reality and the dream. The dream just is what it is. It's the totality of reality. And in this dream, there are people, places, things, experiences. There's problems. There's a plot. Sometimes it's a good plot. Sometimes it's a bad plot. Sometimes things within the dream are unrealistic as it relates to this reality, But when we are in the dream, we literally don't know the difference. It is as realistic as real can be. Also in a dream are objects like trees, grass, the sky, weather, rain, sun. All the different aspects of this reality exist within the dream as well. But also, if you can, some people can do this. They can become aware that they are in a dream. And then once they do that, they are capable of warping or modifying or manifesting certain things within the dream, creating within the dream. The interesting thing about the dream is this. We can talk to people, we can, go on missions, whatever the case is within the dream. We can do any and all of these things. But the truth is, although it seems so overwhelmingly real, all of these things don't really exist. Now, what do I mean by that? In the sense of existing as physical reality, the people in your dreams are not actually people. Your friend, your family member, your boyfriend or girlfriend, they are not actually in your dream. You may be talking to them, they may be 5 feet away from you, but realistically, they're not there. They are just a projection of you. So in other words, they are only you. They are not within your dream. It is yourself refracted into other people. It is only the substance of your mind. It is the substance of your subconscious pushed out into the dream. And also, similar to that, the objects and trees and grass and all of that stuff, they are not actually trees, grass, or whatever it is. It is only mind. It is only literally mind. And that's a very important concept. And while doing that, I want to explain about how the detailed, the extreme detail within a dream comes about. We did not plan that it was there. We did not say this tree is supposed to be there. But yet when we touch it, it has more detail than we could ever possibly fathom to replicate in this waking state. So when we're awake, we could never plan or draw or create a tree in the exact likeness, in the exact form as we would within the dream, which is an interesting concept. But nevertheless, relating all of this to reality is what we're now going to do. So this reality is, we can liken it to a dream. Now, follow with me here. We can liken it to a matrix. The way that all of this works is through our awareness. So within the dream, everything is made up of mind. Within the matrix, everything is made up of computer software. But in this reality, everything is made up of awareness. That is stated and can be tested, but it says it in Exodus 3 that God, his name, is I am. Now, if you've been following along with me in manifesting, then you know how to prove that this is true. Anything that you've ever observed, everything that you can observe, everything you will observe, that is all pushed out on the screen of space. So you are the creator of all of this, all of your experience. Your awareness is a replicator of whatever it's aware of. So stop now for a second and think, what am I thinking about? Ask yourself that question. What am I thinking about? You might be thinking about what I'm talking about. You might be piecing this together in your mind. You might be making some connections or maybe having revelations. But nevertheless, the fact that you can observe your thought alludes to the ultimate fact that there is an observer and then there is your thought, which means that you are not your thought, which means that there are two in essence, or that the thought is appearing within awareness. So this is a very important concept because it shows you the difference between your thoughts and your awareness. Now that goes for everything. Your imagination you're aware of. Your memories you're aware of. These senses outside you're aware of, which means there is an observer and then there is that which is appearing within the observer. Now, it is thought through modern science commonly that awareness exists only within the mind, and when a person dies, that awareness vanishes. But it is actually something entirely different. It's actually the reverse. Awareness is all that there is, and our mind is a receiving point to observe or traverse the inner workings of that awareness. So when we liken it to the dream, or when we liken it to the matrix, we'll stick with the dream in this. It's very much as if God, or awareness itself, the everything, the infinite being, the infinite everything, is dreaming this. And this is what it says in Scripture as well, in that just as in the dream, we are aware of being there, but we don't really know it's a dream, but everything is solidly real. We, ourself here, is God dreaming us. So in the dream, everyone is yourself pushed out. In reality, everyone is God pushed out. Now, how do we prove that this is true? We take the characteristics of this God that I speak of, which I reference from the Bible, and then we take those characteristics, and then we utilize the power of our imagination to see if we have that same power that is talked about in that scripture. So ultimately, you will find, if you use your imagination to basically impress your subconscious mind with whatever it is that you want to experience, you will find that that awareness which observes your imaginal act will push out in reality the exact replica of the thing that you imagined. But how does this happen? And this we will relate back to the Matrix. So in the Matrix, everyone is connected by a wire into this system, and they're all sharing this same dream in essence. In reality, and this is testable, you can prove this. This is a conclusion that I made a while ago. You can make the same conclusion, that everyone is connected by the subconscious mind. And so the process of creation goes as follows. We are aware of something within our mind, right? Whether it's a thought, a feeling, an imaginal act, a belief, an attitude, whatever it is, we imagine it. That impresses the subconscious mind. From that subconscious mind, awareness, all of this, which is infinitely intelligent, infinite power, infinite, all of that, takes what is in your subconscious and then manifests it outward. But how does it do that? When you manifest a cup of coffee, or when you manifest marriage, or when you manifest anything at all, how does your manifestation come to you? Well, there's a series of events that takes place in order to get you that end. It's a perfect chain of incidents. But those chains of incidents always utilize other people. But how are those people moved? And you yourself are also being used to fulfill others' manifestations. How are you doing this without knowing that you're taking action towards someone else, or even your own manifestations? And the way this happens is by the subconscious mind. We are unaware of the contents of the subconscious mind. We can't take a reading glasses or a magnifying glass and look at it and see all the different things that are in it. But the subconscious mind is a two-way road, right? It's a two-way street. We impress things on the subconscious mind from our thoughts to the subconscious. And then the other way, awareness, or God, pushes us thoughts, and we believe they are our own. And then we take action in order to perfectly get us to where we want. Think back on your manifestations. Think back on all the things that you've ever created. Almost 100% of the time, you never are aware that you're going towards that end. And in the same likeness, all the events that transpire simultaneously, those people acting towards giving you what you want, they have no idea that they're doing that. But nevertheless, it's always happening. Now, the final point that I want to relate the Matrix to this reality, and also the dream to this reality, and how to really drive it home, is that that power which we manifest through is far superior, far more intelligent, far more powerful than we ever as a human form will be. So if you take it in a logical approach, an actual logical approach, the system, any system that contains any substance, that substance is less than the system as a whole. So in other words, the intelligence of a system can only produce results less intelligent than the entire system. That's just the law of everything. That's how anything and everything works. So that means in this reality, all the intelligence that has ever been known, all the objects, everything that has ever been experienced is basically the sum of all of that is greater even than each of its parts itself. So ultimately what I'm trying to say is that power that you have within you is way greater than our power as a human being. So when we imagine something, we can know for sure beyond any doubt that the results that will come will be far greater than anything that we can contemplate. And that's like the system from within the matrix. It's like the dream. Inside the dream, we are limited by the knowledge of myself. But inside this reality, we're only limited by the knowledge of God, right? We have access to that. In Scripture, it says, I and my Father are one, and my Father is greater than I. So this is just kind of driving that point home, that is exactly who we are. We are awareness. There is only awareness. We have the power of awareness. And anything that you want in this world, anything that you can imagine, it already exists within awareness. Otherwise, you would not be able to imagine it. And with that said, anything that you want to create, all things are possible. If you can imagine it, you can create it. So what is it that you want? Think about it. What brought you to this video? Is it just curious about understanding of how the world works? Is it that you have a very specific goal that you want to put into practice? If you can create a scene, an imaginal scene that implies that you already have it, and if you can suspend all your senses and enter into that imaginal act as if you're really there, looking through your own eyes, and you already received that thing that you want, that will impress your subconscious mind, enter into the system of the matrix and push it out into the world, just as we can do in the dream, just as we can do in the matrix, and just as you've been proving all along, at least since you've been watching my channel, that you can do in this reality as well. So I hope that you like this video. There is a worksheet. Definitely download that as well. It's in the description. Hit the like button if this was helpful to you. Hit the subscribe and bell icon if you want more broken down, systematic, provable techniques on how to manifest anything that you want. And stay tuned for the next one. See you soon.